Hi, welcome back. We are finally here on chapter 6, right? On functions, relations, and mappings. This video, like we do always, will be an introductory video giving you the essence, what they are, and then the fields that we can apply. So let me ask you this question. A student comes from a hometown. A person has a phone number. A worker earns a salary. What do all these things have in common? They all have connections, right? Now, one thing is connected to another thing. And in math, whenever we talk about connections between things, we call that a relation. Now, what is a relation? A relation is simply a way of linking elements of one set to elements of another sets. We have done what sets are from chapter 1, right? Now, for example, if you take a set of students and connect them to their hometowns, that is a relation. If you take a set of when you take a set of people, right, and connect them to their ages, that is also a relation. So the key idea here is very simple. A relation is just a connection between two sets. Now, what is a function? Not all relations behave nicely. Some relations are messy. For example, one person can have many friends. One student can study many subjects. But in math, we sometimes want a very strict type of relation, right? So a relation where each input gives exactly one output. This we call it what? A function, right? Don't worry, we'll delve into them a bit deeper when we start dealing with individual aspect of this, the function, the relations, and the mapping. This is actually an introductory video, right? So like we're saying that, for example, one person have many friends, one student can study many subjects, and this is messy. So what we want is that a relation where each input gives exactly one output. So one input giving one output. Don't worry, stay put. Now, the special type of relations is what we call a function. Right? A special type of relation is what we call a function. So you can think of it this way. Every function is a relation, but not every relation is a function. Don't worry, I know you may start thinking. Now we are saying that every function is a relation, but not every relation is a function. Because a function follows a rule, right? One input, one output. Unlike what the relation which may have a number of one input but many outputs. Now let's move on to what is mapping. When we want to show how elements are connected, we often use arrows. That's a mapping. So we draw arrows from one set to another set. This process of assigning elements from one set to another is called mapping. So mapping is simply the way we show the relationship. I hope you get the point. Now, why is this topic very important? Like we do on this chapter, on this channel, we are not only concerned about teaching you how things are done, the rote learning, but as to why this is so and the importance, and maybe in the future career where these fields or technicality can be applied. So this topic will just be simple. So that will be the important foundations in math. So why? Now, because math is just not about numbers, we want to know more about it. We want to know the relationship that exists between these things that we are doing. So for example, in physics, distance depends on time. In economics, profit depends on sales. In business, salary depends on hours worked. You understand? In computer science, input produces output. So all of these are examples of functions. So when you understand relations and functions, you are learning how mathematics describes the real world. So remember these three ideas. Relations connect things. Functions are special relations with one output per input. Mappings show how those connections are used using what? The arrows and the rules, right? So once you understand these ideas, topics like graphs, equations, calculus, and all that, which we will treat later, will become very easier. In fact, they will make sense, right? So, and that is important to this particular channel, right? So we will see you in the next video where we will go in depth talking about the various topics that we just described, right? The mapping, the relations, the functions, and then their application in the subsequent calculations that we will be looking at. So we see you on the next side, on the other side, right? Please like, subscribe, share, follow, let's say to Operation 1K. Then we can start going live to help you in your daily life, not only math or your exams, but your daily calculations. So we will see you soon. Bye for now.